don't have to be perfect. You just have to try. I wanted to talk about little notes when. When I first came up with this, it's little notes when. So these little notes when I feel sad, I look at them, sad or confused or whatsoever, I would look at them. And over the progression of time, the stack keeps getting bigger. And I know I keep showing you. The other one's that thick. Now it's called Little Notes When. And I wanted to kind of go through the process. I sit and think about things that I need to hear or need to say to myself. And I'm going through quite a bit of exhaustion and stress. I'm not generating the amount of revenue that I wanted from online sales. Plus, there's another venture that I'm doing that is not getting the traction that I wanted. And the takeaway is, number one, just exhaustion. I told myself that I wanted to lose 50 pounds because old boy got a little bit chunkers. And in order to do that, I'm biking everywhere. And I'm biking close to 30 miles a day, which, is great. It's great for my legs, but exhaustion is definitely sitting in. But the hard part is that in between my ears, there's a lot of judgment. A lot of times I get frustrated, and my frustration leads to not being good enough, not being smart enough, self-hatred, and, without putting into words, I think a lot of people understand the type of harsh things that they say about themselves that they would never say about anyone else. And I'll use ChatGPT to prompt me with questions, and it also helps me with what I'm going to be saying on my my daily vlogs. But when I write it out, the color coordination doesn't necessarily mean exactly anything. But hey, let's check this out. So I'm just gonna go slow. This one was really important to me today. And then I just started trying to write things in my own voice. The one that I'm just having to remind myself is not every day is just a lottery, It takes a long process. And then I'd said, talk to me as if I was, what was the prompt? What would a mother say to a young child? And but I also have this, this in me. I like to draw little things for myself. And I do this every day. And I've done it every day for the past 50 days. And I mean, to be honest, I like to share because I can. And the big one, right? The goal is exciting. It can be very exciting. Buy a new car, buy a new house, but the process in there is the slow start, the slow process. I was with my daughter the other day, and she said, "Daddy, why do you always wear black?" Because I used to have a wardrobe. I used to change. And I said, "Do you think Daddy only has these clothes?" And she said, "Yeah, you always wear the same thing." And I told her, it's because I'm mourning. And she just looked at me, and I said, "Well, I'd never properly processed my mom and my brother and my grandma when they died." And additionally, I am hopefully shedding and mourning the old version of myself. I very much want to move into this new person. And when that happens, you don't have to be perfect. Just gotta try. On purpose, I have multiple projects because I get tired and annoyed of just having one thing. And so it's my own choosing to have stress from Freddy the Farting Fox, stress from Penflow Plus, stress from Midnight Munchies, the YouTube channel, the sushi job, being a father, trying to be present, going to the gym. We all go through this. Everybody. You don't start over because you were weak. You start over because you're honest. And honestly, I just didn't like who I was for a long time. And I've gone through this in my life before. 3 times I've gone through this.
That's a great quick story. That I didn't know I didn't give them.
I mean, to circle back, before you judge your business, check your energy level. And when I'm in my head and exhausted, well, in my head and judging myself a lot, more often than not, it's mental exhaustion. I don't feel good and judge myself. I'm not rested and then judge myself. It's just trying to retrain myself in that regard. For quite some time, for the past 5 years, I've felt broken. I had a broken mentality. Nothing I did was right. I also was around people that said I didn't do anything right. Cart before the horse, or why do I have to rationalize when people abuse me? Why do I have to hold my words to make sure that somebody else that hurt me doesn't look bad? Does anybody else deal with that? Well, this may not have been the most extravagant, but some days are fillers. And each time I go through this, even when you're upset, you are still loved. when I go through this, I want to be honest about how I'm rebuilding and growing in public. It is a means of uncomfort for me. Let's try again. I believe in you. But just because I'm uncomfortable doesn't mean I don't have to do it. I see this as a positive process. I certainly don't think about harming myself anymore. And I don't allow abuse. Last two. If you're out there, get the fuck up. Why? Because we ain't quitting today. Not today. We ain't gonna quit. I believe in you. You can do it.